Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to all my students. So this morning we are going to start with the first topic, which is the introduction to Islamic financial system. So in this topic we are going to learn about the financial system in Malaysia. Okay, what are the difference between Islamic financial system and conventional financial system? This financial system is very important because this system governs and operates our money circulated among the society and also the institution. But before that, let's look on the learning outcome first. At the end of the chapter, you should be able to, the first one, to explain the concept of financial system in Malaysia, which you need to be able to explain how the system works from the deficit to the surplus unit and from the surplus unit to the deficit unit. The second one, to discuss the financial system, right? What are the functions? Because financial system play different functions. There are several functions played by them. The third one, to differentiate conventional bank with Islamic bank, and the last one, to explain on the National Sharia Advisory Council that govern and supervise the Islamic banking industry in Malaysia. What is financial system? Basically, a financial system is the collection of market, institutions, law, regulation, and techniques that operate to enable the transfer of money from the surplus or savers to the deficit side or the borrower. Okay, if you look back on the definition, it is collection of markets. Okay, in the financial system, we have several markets. We have money market, we have capital market. So how this market works? Okay, and then we look on the institutions. We have a lot of financial institutions in this system. We have banking institutions, finance institutions, we have the supervisory or legislative body, we have Negara Malaysia, and we have the Security Commission. All these institutions play their roles in order to make the financial system in Malaysia works. Not limited to that, we have several kind of laws that govern the industry. Currently we have the Islamic Financial Service Act 2013. We have Financial Service Act 2013. This law and regulation are very important to make sure the customer are protected, all right, and the institution also are protected against any criminal activities. Okay, not limited to that, it also involves several techniques that operates to enable the transfer of money to surplus side or saver to the deficit side. So how you want to make sure money from the surplus unit, for example, rich people, how they can utilize the money to channel the money to the deficit unit so that this deficit unit can borrow the money and use for economic productive activities so that they can make business, they can make profit, and later on they will pay back to this surplus unit. Okay, sebab itulah in the financial system we need to make sure funds circulated in the economy from the surplus unit to the deficit unit, and from the deficit unit to the surplus unit. In addition, it is an efficient financial system which requires efficient and solvent financial intermediaries. Okay, when we talk about financial intermediaries, it involving bank. Bank is a financial intermediaries between the surplus unit and also the deficit unit. Okay, and the bank need to play their roles efficiently so that they can connect the surplus and deficit unit, and at the same time they can get benefit from that activities. Okay, it also requires a legal framework that defines clearly the right and also the obligation of all agents involved. Okay, everything need all the functions, all the regulations, all the responsibilities need to be clear between all the parties involved in the financial system governed by, involved by the institutions and also supervisory ataupun legislative body. As you can see here, this is the flows of fund through the financial system. So this diagram is very important for you to understand the system that work in Malaysia. So if you can see on the left side is the saver or lenders. This is where we call this group of people as the surplus unit. Okay, on the right side of this diagram, we can see the borrower, okay, which referring to the deficit unit. Okay, if you can see on the diagram, we can see the indirect finance here and we can see the direct finance. Meaning to say, indirect finance, this is where saver will invest or channel their money through the intermediaries to the deficit unit. Okay, borrower also will borrow money from the bank as intermediary from the surplus unit. So basically, what does it mean by indirect finance? The savers and the borrowers are not have a meeting together. All right, they use intermediary to respond to their need. Okay, surplus unit, their needs is to invest money and to get return from the investment. But the borrower's need is the financing from the surplus unit. Okay, it is very difficult for the borrower to search for the surplus unit ataupun household yang ada banyak duit, a person who have a lot of money. So it is more easier when they can just go to the bank to apply for the loan. But where does the bank get the money? They get from the surplus unit. Kan simple. Surplus letak duit dekat bank and bank gunakan duit tu and channel it to the borrower who required financing. Kan kalau tidak, their function will be very difficult. If imagine when we do not have bank as a financial intermediaries, it will be very difficult for you to look for financing if you want to further your study. Kan you don't have the PTPTN loan and whatnot. Kan it will be difficult for you because you need to go from one house to another houses, kan, to apply financing. If one house give you 100 ringgit, kan, and you need 20,000 ringgit, so you need to look a lot of people in order to acquire the financing. Kan nanti nak bayar pun you kena pergi satu rumah ke satu rumah to pay for the financing. But the system have make it easy. Kan we have invented bank. Orang ada duit, place their money with the bank, and the borrower boleh pinjam duit pada bank without borrower needs to know who is the lender. So that is the indirect finance, how the fund are channeled from the surplus to the deficit unit. And the second part we can see here is direct finance. Okay, this is where a person with extra money or surplus unit will invest their money in the financial market, for example, in the money market or capital market, where they will invest directly into a company or into a stock. Kan, for example, when imagine you are the surplus unit, okay, you are the surplus unit, you have 1 million ringgit that you have intention to invest those money. Okay, so you can invest your money directly to the money market. So you will choose which company that you want to invest with. Kan, in this case, you can see that the investor or surplus unit will know who is the deficit unit. Kan, contoh, Sam Derby has opened a new IPO. Alright, so you will directly invest to Sam Derby. In this case, you will know who is your deficit unit ataupun borrower. But yang tadi, we go back to the first part, indirect finance. Savers will not know who is the borrower and the borrower will not know who is the lender. But this one, Surplus unit will know who is the borrower, and the borrower will know who is the surplus unit. Sebab tu kita panggil direct market. They do not use any intermediaries. They will directly invest money to the borrower. Okay, so that is how the financial system in Malaysia work. So fund channel to the deficit unit, they are circulated in the economy. Okay, now we go to the function of financial system, where financial institution play several functions. The first function is the saving function. All right, so as you know, most of the bank have this deposits product. So this is where we call saving function, where bank receive deposit from the customer ataupun depositor. Okay, this is where bank offer deposit product, for example, like savings account, current account, investment account, and whatnot, because they are collecting or they are receiving money from the depositor. And why depositor giving their money to the bank? All right, why? Because they want to keep their money with the bank, because it is more safer as compared if they just keep those money in their house. So banks ataupun financial institution play savings function, where the customer can save their money with the bank. All right, so this is under the deposit product. All right, the second function is wealth function. So this is where banks or financial institution offering investment products and services to the customer. Okay, for example, investment account, bank, we have investment bank, right? They help you to make investment, to advise you where to invest your money, how you can get return. So if you want to invest in money market or you want to invest in stock, for example, so bank are offering this kind of services. They will help you as a broker and whatnot to invest your money with the stock market. Kita ada bank also have variety of investment product. Dia ada investment account, long-term, short-term investment account. They have trust product and many more. So bank also offering investment services or product to the customer. So that what does it mean by wealth function. The third one is liquidity function. Okay, bank helps the customer to liquidate their financial asset. Financial asset referring to the short term or any securities, any instruments, money market instruments. So if you want to liquidate your financial asset, you can sell it to the bank. For example, what are the example of instruments ataupun money market instruments? We have treasury bills, we have bankers acceptance, those kind of thing. If you unable to wait until the maturity, you can sell ataupun liquidate your instrument with the bank. So that what does it mean by liquidity function. Next one, we have credit function. This is where bank offers credit to the customer ataupun bank are offering financing product to the customer. For example, bank offering retail product, retail products. So bank offering credit function to the customer. This is where bank offer financing product to the retail customer and corporate customer. Okay, for example, for financing product for retail customer includes personal loan, housing loan, automobile loan, and also credit card. Okay, financing product for the corporate customer, we have, for example, like working capital, revolving. So we have working capital financing, we have revolving credit, we have trade financing, and many more. Okay, next one we have the payment function. So payment function is bank provide the payment facilities. For example, this is where bank provide debit card, credit card, charge card, can pay with a Visa and MasterCard function. So it enables the customer to make easy payment via the payment card. Okay, so this is the payment function, and you're able to make online purchases and whatnot. So this is the kind of facility provided by the banks in Malaysia. And the last one is risk protection function. Okay, so this is where bank offers takaful and also insurance to the customers. Okay, so basically they want to protect you against financial catastrophe. So if you have medical problems or you have any catastrophe happens to you, okay, you can have this insurance product in order to mitigate the risk. Next, this is the structure of financial system. Okay, in financial system is divided into two. As you can see on the diagram here, we have a financial institution and also a financial market. All right. I'm sorry, this diagram blur kat bawah tu, but you can look for this diagram from the internet later on. Okay, financial system, we have the banking system, which consists of Bank Negara Malaysia and banking institutions. Yeah, we have commercial bank, Islamic bank, investment bank, and whatnot. And at the same time, under the same category, we have non-bank financial intermediaries. Okay, so for non-bank financial intermediaries, it consists of provident and pension fund, insurance company, tabung haji, and many more. Because this financial institution doesn't provide banking services, even though tabung haji is receiving deposit from the customer. Tabung haji is not a bank. It falls under the category of non-bank financial intermediaries. If you can see previously on the slide, okay, so if the institution want to be categorized as a banking system, they need to offer all these function. Okay, if the institution offering all this function, they will consider as the bank. But if the institution only play one or two of this function, they can be classified into non-banking financial intermediaries. For example, tabung haji. Does tabung haji provide all this function? No. Tabung haji only play a certain function, which is the saving function and wealth function. You cannot apply financing from tabung haji. You cannot pay with tabung haji card, debit card and whatnot, because they do not have that. You cannot participate in tabung haji takaful because they don't provide that. Okay, so that is why tabung haji is not a bank, but they falls under the category of non-bank financial intermediaries. Same goes with EPF. EPF is not a bank. Why? They don't play all this function. Okay, EPF only plays a certain function. The first one is saving function, because they are collecting deposit from the customer for the purpose of retirement. Kan, tabung haji at the same time invest those money, which is in wealth function. They do not provide credit facility, they not provide liquidity function and whatnot. Okay, that is why the institutions classified as non-bank financial intermediaries. And the second one, we have the financial market. So under financial market, we have the money and foreign exchange market, offshore market, foreign exchange, kan, semua tu bawa financial market. Okay, this is the structure of Islamic financial market in Malaysia. Okay, so this is Islamic financial market is divided into two categories. We have the Islamic bank and takaful and Islamic capital market. So we look on the first category, Islamic banking and takaful. They have certain product. Kan, untuk Islamic bank, which referring to the commercial bank, Islamic bank itself, they are offering deposit, well-functioned money market product, financing product, and they are offering trade financing product. Ni adalah produk under dia punya bank lah, and at the same time dia pun offer takaful product. Okay. So this is Islamic capital market where it involves with equity, sukuk, derivative, okay, and other Sharia compliant structured product. Okay. So untuk Islamic banking takaful, they are using the Islamic interbank money market platforms. Okay, dekat sini adalah dekat Islamic bank ni dia boleh jalankan Islamic banking function and also offering takaful product kan. And then we have the investment bank. It involves some of them involve in the Islamic interbank money market, and some of the investment bank will involve in the Islamic capital market. So dia ada dekat tengah-tengah ni, okay. So dekat Islamic stockbroking services dengan Islamic fund management ni falls under the Islamic capital market. Okay, who govern the Islamic bank and takaful industry dekat Malaysia? This is the Bank Negara Malaysia as the regulator. So they will supervise and make sure the Islamic bank follow all the rules and regulation. Okay, and how about the Islamic capital market? It is governed by the Security Commission of Malaysia. So this is the legislative body that makes sure the banks are adhere to the rules and regulation if they want to have a valid license for this business. Okay, next one we move into the role of Islamic bank. Okay, the first one we look into the definition of Islamic bank. Okay, according to the Section 2 Islamic Banking Act, they interpret Islamic bank as any company which carries on Islamic banking businesses and hold a valid license, and all the offices and branches in Malaysia of such a bank shall be deemed to one bank. Okay, so what is Islamic bank? A bank which carry Islamic banking business, mean to say they are following the Sharia rules. Okay, which they have a valid license from the Bank Negara Malaysia. Even though we have 360 branches of Bank Islam in Malaysia, we still consider as one Bank Islam because the rest are only the branches which carry the similar product under one HQ headquarters. Okay, that is the definition of Islamic bank. Next, what does it mean by Islamic banking business? Okay, so according to this definition, it means as the business which accepting Islamic deposit on current account, deposit account, okay, savings account, or other similar account. Alright, which or without the business of paying or collecting checks drawn by or paid in by customer, accepting money under investment account, and provision of finance, and such other business as prescribed under Section 3. So this is where further definition you can refer IFSA 2013. Okay, so Islamic bank business dia buat apa? The first one, they are accepting deposit, kan, regardless of what deposit product. Kan, you are receiving deposit from the savings account ke, for the current account ke, for the investment account ke, that one is the business for the Islamic bank where they receive deposit from the customer, kan. And at the same time, if with or without paying or collecting check, okay, if bank offering current account, most probably they will offer check to the customer. So when customer deposit check, they need to pay and cash the check and whatnot. Okay, accepting money under investment account. So if the customer want to invest with the bank, so bank will receive the principal money for the investment. A bank will make the investment, and the return will be shared accordingly. And C, provision of finance. This is where the bank offering credit facilities to the customer. They provide financing product that people can request to get financing from them. And other such business, for example, like apa lagi, liquidity function tadi, takaful and what. Okay, so that is the business of Islamic bank. Basically, all the function yang kita dah belajar tadi is their business, yeah. Okay, now let's see on the differences between conventional and Islamic banking. Okay, the first one, for the conventional bank, the functions and operating mode of conventional bank are on fully man-made principle. Okay, they are follow the regulation, they are follow the laws which made by a human. But in comparison with the Islamic bank, they are following the Sharia principle. Mean to say Sharia means Islamic rules that come from the primary and the secondary sources. They are referring to Quran, Sunnah, Hadith, and other secondary resources. Okay, basically, the Sharia is not a human law, but it is the God law, come from Allah. The second one, the investor is assured of a predetermined rate of interest. Okay, in conventional bank, for example, if you want to invest in certain thing, for example, you want to invest in the conventional bank investment account, so they will assure you when you invest in our deposit account, investment deposit account, after 6 months of the investment period, you will get 4% of interest rate. They provide you those kind of predetermined rate. Yeah. So after 6 months, you will get the 4% profit from your investment. But in contrast, Islamic bank, they cannot provide any predetermined rate in advance. So this is where Islamic bank cannot promise to the customer something is not certain. Okay, because when Islamic bank receive your money and they use your money for the purpose of investment, there is uncertainty because Islamic bank doesn't know what will happen in the future, whether the investment will bring profit or loss to the bank. Okay, so that is why bank cannot promise to the customer something which not certain. So in this case, bank will not will not promise with you how much that you will get if you want to invest with the Islamic bank. Kan macam convention tadi, okay, if you invest with us within 6 months, you will get 4% interest rate, but not for Islamic bank. You cannot promise that. If you promise something which uncertain, we can consider the transaction as void and not following the Sharia rules. Okay, so how Islamic bank avoiding from providing any promise of something which is uncertain? Okay, the first one, Islamic bank are using a certain contract which we call it profit sharing or musyarakah. So this is where they will share they will share the profit based on the agreement. Yeah. So in this situation, under musyarakah, we have the capital provider and the entrepreneur ataupun mudarabah, any kind of contract. So this is where they will share the profit according to the pre-agreed ratio. Okay, if they only get 2% return from the investment, they will share accordingly based on the pre-agreed ratio the profit from the 2%. Okay, contoh, untung dapat 2,000, dia akan share lah. Untung dapat 10,000, dia akan share. Kalau pre-agreed ratio is 50-50, dia akan share lah. So 5,000, 5,000. Okay, so that is the comparison in terms of predetermined interest rate between these two banks. Okay, the third point, for the conventional bank, it aims at maximizing profit without any restriction. So for conventional bank, there is no halal and haram concept. As long as the financial activities does not against any law, for them it is permissible and can be practiced. Okay, in contrast, for Islamic bank, we are aiming at maximizing profit, but when we want to acquire profit, we need to make sure it does not against the Sharia teaching. Okay, because in Islam we have the concept of halal and haram. Okay, if you want to invest money, we cannot invest money in the syubhah place ataupun haram place. For example, if you cannot invest your money in the pub, in the tobacco company, liquor company, and whatnot, because it is involving haram activities. So when you invest in those kind of company, income that you receive will become haram. So you can invest, you can make money, you can get as many possible return from your investment, but you need to make sure all the financial activities are halal and not against the Sharia rules. And next one, for conventional bank, it does not deal with zakat. It doesn't have the concept of zakat. Okay, but for Islamic bank, we have the concept of zakat. Okay, because it is compulsory for the Muslim to pay for zakat. Zakat in income, zakat in business and whatnot. Okay. Next one is lending money and getting it back with compounding interest is the fundamental function. Okay, so this is why conventional bank try to compound the interest rate, especially when the customer cannot pay back the debt. The interest will keep compounding, and at the end, the customer need to pay more money to the bank, and bank will become richer and the customer will become poorer. So this is the concept that we do not practice in Islam. Okay, in Islam we do not practice any compounded interest. In fact, they don't charge interest to the customer. So how Islamic bank avoiding avoiding charging interest to the customer? So this is why Islamic bank go back with the Islamic contract. So this is where they can use a variety of Islamic contract, for example, like mudarabah, musyarakah, and murabaha. Okay, for this example, they are talking about the partnership business, which is referring to the musyarakah. So this is where Islamic bank and the customer, which is the investor, will join together to form a business, and they will share profit once they acquire. Okay, so we do not charge any interest, but we are sharing the profit and loss together. Next one, it can charge additional money, penalty, and compounded interest in the case of defaulter. Yes, if the customer fail to pay the installment or to settle back the loan with the bank will charge penalty. Mean to say you need to pay more and more to the bank. But Islamic bank, basically there is no provision to charge any extra money from the defaulter. Okay, for Islam, bank normally cannot charge any penalty or cannot compound any profit that they acquire whenever the customer cannot pay back the debt. But for the sake of the Islamic bank to continue their business and to make sure that the customer doesn't take it for granted, the Majlis Penasihat Syariah, the Sharia Advisory Council, have agreed that bank can charge penalty to the customer whenever they default ataupun tak bayar hutang, but it is limited to 1% penalty only. So when customer pay the 1% penalty, bank cannot keep the money. bank need to channel the penalty money to the charitable bodies. Okay, boleh. So they just want to make sure the customer doesn't take it for granted. Kejap nak bayar, kejap tak nak bayar. Okay. Next one is, it is very important. Sorry. It is very often it results in the bank owns interest becoming prominent where there is no effort to ensure growth with equity. For conventional bank, they are quite strict in providing loan to the customer because they will look on your financial background, financial ataupun you punya credit rating before they grant you any loan, because this is because when the customer have no capital and you do not have a strong financial background, you does not have any asset as a collateral, kan, it is quite difficult for bank to give you financing ataupun nak bagi you pinjaman. Sebab apa? When bank request you to provide collateral, you tak ada any asset that can you cagarkan pun tak ada. Do you have a strong financial background? Tak ada. Kan duit dalam bank pun berapa ringgit. So very hard for the bank to give you financing because bank look on their own interest. Kan, because your credit rating is very low, there is a huge tendency that you are not able to pay the debt later on. Okay, because bank are look solely on their interest. Okay, but for Islamic bank, that it give due importance to the public interest, ultimate aims to ensure growth with equity. What does it mean here? Even though you do not have a strong financial background, even though you cannot provide a good collateral to the bank for the financing, bank will look on your business. Okay, if your business has the good prospect to perform in the future and your business able to make a good profit in the future, right, they will not hesitate to provide you with the financing because they are not look only to your financial background and your credit rating, but they look on your business possibility, okay, to make profit in the future. And next one, for conventional bank, for interest-based commercial bank, borrowing from the money market is relatively easier. Okay, because for conventional bank, they are offering a lot of instruments or product in the money market. But for Islamic banks, it can be said new, but not really new. Okay, we have limited Sharia instruments available in money market right now. Okay, not as many as conventional bank, but we do have the instruments. Okay. Next one, for the conventional bank, since income from the advance is fixed, it gives little importance to developing expertise in project appraisal and evaluation. Okay, this is what we have explained earlier just now. Okay, bank will not, when bank want to grant you with loan, they will look on your credit rating and your financial performance and whatnot. They are not looking into your business. So when the conventional bank do not look into your business, basically they do not have any expertise. Kan orang yang pakar to evaluate your business appraisal, to evaluate company performance, kan sama ada your company able to make profit in the future or not. So they don't have this kind of thing. But for Islamic banks, since they are looking on your business more than they looking into your credit rating and financial performance, right? They will evaluate the company, whether your company is promisable, whether your company can perform in the future. So, since the business relationship ataupun partnership is based on profit and loss sharing, so Islamic bank will look on your business. They will tentatively look into your business performance. Okay, Islamic Bank will invest money with your company, and they will ask you to provide interim report, kan, because they want to look how you use the money, kan. Is your company performing according what you have planned and whatnot, because a bank need to make sure that they as investor able to make profit from your business, so they will monitor your business interimly lah, okay, and they will make the evaluation. Next one, the conventional bank give greater emphasis on credit worthiness of the client. So ni sama macam ada emphasis tadi, bank look on your credit rating and your financial performance, as they will not look into the prospect of your business. But for Islamic bank, they look on the viability of your business or your project. Okay, bukan dia tak tengok langsung you punya credit rating and financial performance, dia tengok juga on top of that, they will look on your business, whether your business able to generate return in the future or not. Kan? If your financial rating or credit rating is not good enough and your business plan or your business prospect is not good enough, there is possibility you will not get any financing from the bank as well. Okay. Next one, the status of a conventional bank in relation to its client, it's just between the creditor and debtor. Okay, pemiutang dan penghutang lah, atau debtor or the borrower. Okay, but for Islamic bank, the relationship is not between creditor and debtor. The relationship are numerous. Okay, it is based on the Islamic contract used for the financing facility offered to the customer. If the financing offered to the customer based on the musyarakah, so they will become partners. Okay. If the contract is based on mudarabah, they will become the relationship is between capital provider and entrepreneur. Kan, it depends on the contract. If the financing product based on the murabahah contract, the relationship will be between the buyer and seller. Alright, so the relationship is different based on the Islamic contract used for the financing product. And the last one, a conventional bank has to guarantee all its deposit. Meaning to say here, they guarantee that if you deposit money 1,000 with a bank, whenever bank have difficulty ataupun bankruptcy, you will get back your 1,000 again. They guarantee that. But for Islamic bank, it is based on the contract. Okay, Islamic bank can only guarantee deposit for deposit account based on the principle of al-wadi'ah. So if you deposit money based on the al-wadi'ah yadamanah concept, yes, if bank have difficulties ataupun bankruptcy, you will get all your money back from the bank. Tapi kalau you deposit your money based on the contract of mudarabah, okay, there is possibility of you not getting back your deposit money, because mudarabah is profit and loss sharing. Betul tak? Musyarakah, mudarabah, profit sharing. Okay, musyarakah is profit sharing. Kalau bank loss, you akan loss jugalah. Kalau bank make profit, you able to get your profit as well. So bahayalah. So if you want to deposit your money, make sure you punya savings account gunakan contract al-wadi'ah yadamanah. Okay, so that you will not lose your money. Okay. Okay, hi. Next, we will continue with the next part of the chapters, which is Bank Negara Malaysia and Bank Negara Malaysia National Sharia Advisory Council, or in short form, we call it NSAC. Okay, here are the rules and function of Bank Negara Malaysia. The first one, to issue currency and keep reserve, safeguarding the value of the currency. Okay, so the task or the function to printing and minting the coins is under responsibility of Bank Negara Malaysia. They need to make sure we have enough supply of paper money and coins for the usage of Malaysian payment system, and at the same time they need to keep reserve whenever they want to print out new money. So Malaysia, you need to know that we cannot easily print out the money. Okay, if we need 1 million ringgit, we cannot just print out the 1 million ringgit. Okay, you need to safeguard the value of 1 million, then you can print out the money. How you safeguard the value of money? Okay, if you want to print out 1 million ringgit, you need to prepare 1 million ringgit value of apa ni, jongkong emas, ya, emas, jongkong emas. Okay, jongkong emas tu you keep with the IMF, right? Then you can print out your 1 million ringgit money. If you don't have the jongkong emas, apa English ya jongkong emas? If you don't have the gold bar, you can safeguard the value of the currency by deposit different currency with IMF, for example, like pound sterling, euro, dollars, US dollar, yen from China, and yen from Japan. So those currencies accepted by IMF in order for you to safeguard the value of currency. So if you want to print out the money, you need to deposit money with IMF. Okay. The second one, to act as a banker and financial advisor to the government. Okay, this is also one of the important roles of Bank Negara Malaysia, where Bank Negara Malaysia being an advisor to the government. So Bank Negara Malaysia is playing an active role in advising the government on the economic policies and also help the government to manage the public debt. So if the government want to invest money or acquire debt, yeah, so they need to get a consultation with Bank Negara Malaysia first, all right, approval from Bank Negara Malaysia in any kind of financial activities or investment activities, so that the government are not making mistake. Among the major role of Bank Negara Malaysia is to prudently, okay, dengan berjimat cermat, dengan efficiently to conduct a monetary policy which has seen generally low and stable inflation for decades, and thereby preserving the purchasing power of ringgit. So it is very important for Malaysia to protect the currency, okay, against any inflation and whatnot. So we need to make sure the value of ringgit stable. Okay, so that is why Bank Negara Malaysia has several monetary policies, yeah, to make sure the ringgit value is stable. For example, we have MLR, minimum liquidity requirement, statutory reserve requirement, OMO, open market operation, and many more. So this is policy just want to protect the currency and to make sure the interest rate is stable and the inflation rate is stable as well. Next one, to promote the reliable, efficient, and smooth operation of national payment and settlement payment. In this case, BNM play a very important role, including development of financial system infrastructure, with major emphasis placed on building a nation-efficient and secure payment system. Okay, so this is where you can see that Malaysia have their own payment system. For example, we have Rentas. Okay, we have Rentas is developed by Bank Negara Malaysia. So the Bank Negara Malaysia need to make sure they have a safe payment system to make sure fund channel ataupun transfer in a safe situation. Okay, because banks between the other bank need to make a major fund transfer, so they need to make sure the payment system is stable, efficient, and smooth enough. Okay, so this is very important because we want to build a very comprehensive financial system. Okay, a comprehensive financial system is very important to make sure the system can operate very well. People will not get any problems when they transfer a huge amount of money, especially involving between financial institution. And the last one, to influence the credit situation to the advantage of the country. This is where we want to make sure bank able to provide financing to all the deficit unit. So fund need to be circulated. Okay, bank can offer credit facilities to the customer. In this case, okay, when bank able to provide financing to the customer, it will promote and supporting balanced economy growth. Okay, people can make new business, then the business can make profit, and the financial economic system kat Malaysia will grow further. We have BNM and BNM National Advisory Council, or we call it NSAC. For your information, the BNM's NSAC was established on the 1st May 1997 as the authority for the ascertainment of Islamic law for the purpose of the first one, Islamic banking business, takaful, Islamic financial business, Islamic development financial business, or any other business that works or function or operates based on the Sharia principle and regulated by Bank Negara Malaysia. Okay, so any kind of business, if you open up a new business that is based on Sharia law, alright, and under Bank Negara Malaysia, you need or you will be supervised by this National Sharia Advisory Council. Okay, this is one of the requirements. Okay, Islamic bank and banking institutions that offer Islamic banking products and services are required to establish its very own advisory committee or consultant to advise them and ensure that operation and activities of the bank is complying with the Sharia principle. So, for example, Islamic Bank, Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad, so they need to have their very own Sharia committee. Okay, if you open up a new bank, you call it a Shafi's Islamic Bank Berhad. So, I'm running an Islamic bank, right? So, it is compulsory for me to form a Sharia committee that consists of expertise in Sharia, in law, in banking operation, and whatnot. Okay, if the company cannot afford to establish a Sharia advisory committee, they can hire consultant to give advice on the Sharia part of the banking operation. So it is mandatory for all Islamic bank or any Islamic financial institutions that have or follow the Sharia rules to have Sharia committee. Okay, so Sharia committee is at the bank level where all the Islamic bank need to have them, and the Sharia National Sharia Advisory Council is placed with the Bank Negara Malaysia. So that is the highest authority that governs Islamic bank in Malaysia. So the establishment of Sharia Advisory Council at Bank Negara Malaysia by virtue of Section 16B of the Central Bank Act 1958. Okay, so it has been said in the Central Bank Act the function and the authority of the Sharia Advisory Council at Bank Negara Malaysia. So in Malaysia, National Sharia Advisory Council set up by Bank Negara Malaysia will give consultation, will give advice to Bank Negara Malaysia on any Sharia aspect of the banking operation regarding their product and services. Not limited to Bank Negara Malaysia, this Sharia Advisory Council also supervise, give direction, give consultation to all the Islamic bank in Malaysia as a whole. Okay, next one, the BNM and SAC will be referred to by the court or arbitrator in dispute, okay, involving Sharia issues in Islamic banking and finance and also takaful. So when dispute happen, okay, perbalahan berlaku between the customers or between the banks, okay, the court, okay, mahkamah, they will refer to Bank Negara and SAC to solve the problems. So in the case of the arbitrator, arbitrator is the middle person, intermediary, that help you to solve the case or the problem or any issue before the case because they bring the case to the court. Okay, so you need to use this arbitrator services, okay, before you can bring the case to the court. If the arbitrator cannot solve the problem, then the case will be, you will bring the case to the court for the settlement of the dispute. Okay, in the case of the arbitrator, the SAC resolution shall be binding on the arbitrator. Okay, what is SAC resolution? SAC resolution is the resolution that consists of rules and regulation, that consists of solution of something new. For example, investment in ISB considered as harus. The hukum is harus. So it's being recorded in this SAC resolution. So any dispute regarding this matter, okay, the arbitrator will look on this resolution. Resolution tu resolusi lah, resolution to solve problem, kan, jawapan kepada problems that occur before this if been recorded in SAC resolution. So any dispute happen, kan, any case similar to it will be referred to this SAC resolution in order to settle the dispute. Okay, but in the case, if the case is bring to the high level, they bring the case to the court, okay, the SAC resolution shall be taken into consideration on the court advisory lah. But the court have the authority not to follow the resolution, not to refer to the resolution. But SAC compulsory, it's mandatory for them to refer the resolution. But High Court, they have their own judgment. They can decide whether they want to follow the resolution or they find their own solution to the dispute happened in regard the case. Okay. Okay, next one we will continue on the BNM and SSC, where BNM also issues guideline of the governance of Sharia Committee for Islamic Financial Institutions. So these guidelines provide that a Sharia body which is to be known as BNM National Sharia Advisory Council and SAC under the authority of Bank Negara Malaysia. It was set up under Bank Negara Malaysia. Committee is to be established by each and every Islamic bank, Islamic windows, and also takaful operators. So this is mandatory. Okay, so every Islamic bank, every Islamic financial institutions that offering Islamic banking services, product and services, they need to have Sharia committee, right, to make sure the bank follow all the Sharia rules, to make sure the operation is within the Sharia boundaries and whatnot. Okay, so what are the relationship between Sharia committee dengan Sharia Advisory Council of Bank Negara Malaysia? Basically, they have complementary roles. This Sharia committee at bank level will help the National Sharia Advisory Council of Bank Negara Malaysia in terms of adhering to the rules and regulations, to make sure the Islamic bank follow the regulation, to make sure the goodwill of the Islamic banking industry is protected, and many more. Okay, basically, who can become the Sharia advisor ataupun Sharia committee? Okay, if you can see from the Bank Negara website ataupun any bank's punya website, normally people who became the Sharia committee consists of people from various backgrounds. Okay, they will look people with high qualification. The first people might be very prominent in Sharia ruling. Okay, very versed in Sharia law. People that very good in and have vast experience in law. People which is good in banking industry, academician, and many more. Okay, so they will consist of different background, and they will form a Sharia committee. Same goes with the Sharia advisor at the national level. Okay, they have a different background, and all of these person have a very prominent knowledge and experience in Islamic banking and also the Sharia rules. Okay, but there are some restrictions imposed whenever you want to become the Sharia advisor ataupun Sharia advisory committee. Okay, the first restriction is where the member of an SAC of Bank Negara Malaysia. So you need to bear in your mind, an SAC is the highest authority who make decision on ruling and whatnot under Bank Negara Malaysia. Okay, so when you have become the member of an NSC, you are not allowed to serve in any Sharia committee at any Islamic financial institution because you have the higher authority. If you at the same time you become the Sharia committee at the bank level or any Islamic bank, there are possibility of you having self-interest ataupun misuse your power. Okay, the second one Sharia advisor can only serve as a member of Sharia committee in one financial institution in the same industry. Okay, but if you want to become a Sharia committee at the Takaful company, so it is considered as a different industry. So you can be the Sharia committee at the Syarikat Takaful Malaysia, for example. Okay, kalau for example, if you have become Sharia committee at Bank Islam, and at the same time, you want to become the Sharia committee at Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad. So this one cannot. It is not possible. It is wrong for you to accept two Sharia committee position at two different bank which function under the same industry. Tapi macam the second situation, you want to serve as a Sharia committee at Bank Islam, and at the same time, you want to serve as a Sharia committee at Takaful Ikhlas, that one is possible because you are servicing two different industry. Okay, can you understand that? These are the important duties and responsibility of Sharia committees. The first one, to advise the board on Sharia matters in its business operation to ensure its compliance. So it is your responsibility to give advice, to give consultation, to make sure the board of director following the Sharia rules whenever they make decision on the bank itself. Okay, so any operation of the bank, you need to make sure you as a Sharia committee, you need to make sure the bank follow the Sharia rules. Okay, if any operation that go beyond or the Sharia ruling, so it is your responsibility to advise them. Okay, we should not do this because it's against Islamic teaching. So what you can do, you give suggestion. So this is what we do so that it is not against the Sharia ruling. So it is your responsibility to give advice. Okay, the second one, to endorse Sharia compliance manual. So all the operation of Islamic bank need to have the manual or standard operating procedures to make sure all the staff, okay, all the management are following the Sharia manual. Because when we talk about Sharia contract, it is very sophisticated. You need to follow a certain step. You cannot miss a certain step. If you miss a certain step, the contract can be void. Okay, because in Islamic contract they have pillars that you need to fulfill. Okay, the first one, the modus. What is the modus operandi? Okay, the contract functions from step 1 to step 4. If you miss one of the step, okay, contract akan void. So this will be a problem to the bank. So it is important for you as a Sharia committee to prepare the compliance manual so that the staff of the bank can follow the step by step to make sure it is not against any ruling and whatnot. The third one, to endorse and validate relevant documentation to ensure the product comply with the Sharia. So this is where you need to make sure all the documentation, for example, a contract or for acceptance, are making in a valid contract or documentation. So you need to ataupun the second example, when the company want to endorse when the bank want to endorse a new product, introduce new product, so you need to review the product ataupun you need to give suggestion whether the product following the Sharia rules or not. Okay, so you need to validate, you need to endorse the document to make sure this product can be offered to the market, to the customer, and at the same time following the Sharia rules. You cannot simply bank cannot simply endorse a new product without having consultation or getting advice from you. Okay, and the last one, to advise on matters to be referred to the NNSC. In case of conflict, the opinion of NNSC will prevail. Okay. Normally NNSC with Sharia committee going to have a meeting. All right, so this is where the company or the bank can bring any matters or issues to the Sharia committee, and Sharia committee will bring these issues to the higher level to discuss with National Sharia Advisory Council. So in case of conflict in terms of opinions, okay, Sharia committee said A, Sharia and SAC said B. So which one the bank should follow? The bank should follow NSAC because NSAC is the highest authority, and according to the law, you need to follow them instead of the Sharia committee. Okay. If you can see here, this is the members of Sharia Advisory Council at Negara, Malaysia. It is led by Datuk Dr. Muhammad Daud Bakar, the chairman, and a list of the members. Okay, if you can see the background, you go to the Negara, Malaysia website. You can see their education background, their experience, and whatnot, because they are a very prominent people in the industry with good knowledge, with good experience in the Islamic banking industry itself. A bit on the conceptual balance sheet of Islamic finance institution. If you can see here, this is how Islamic bank treat their asset and liabilities. If you can see in the liabilities, it consists of a deposit account, including demand deposit, investment account, special investment account. Okay, why the deposit product placed under liability and not asset by the bank? So this is because money received from the depositor is not belong with the bank. A bank has no right on that money. Okay, those money belong with the customer. So that is why deposit money received from the customer treated as liability from the bank, because it is payable on demand. Okay, if you see on the asset side of the balance sheet, bank's balance sheet, you can see all the financing product offered to the customer falls under asset side. Okay, why is it asset side? This is because bank can make profit, and the profit received from the financing activities is belong with the bank. So the return 100% belong to the bank, but based on the contract, they will share accordingly based on the pre-agreed ratio with the customer. So this is how they treated their balance sheet. Okay, so that is the end of chapter 1. I hope you has understanding. So we will discuss later on this topic in the next class. So if you have any question, please you can ask in the comment section below. And that's it for today. Assalamualaikum.